What some people are interpreting as an incident of racism at Starbucks has generated protests of outrage and calls for action.
Coffee is anti-black. Starbucks coffee is anti-black. A whole lot of racism.
Okay, so here's what led to that demonstration. Employees at a Philadelphia Starbucks said two African-American men refused to leave when they told they couldn't use the restroom and wait for a friend unless they were paying customers. They were subsequently arrested after the manager called police. And now there is another incident. This one surfaced from a few months ago at a Starbucks in the Los Angeles area. An African-American man who was apparently a customer needed the key code to unlock the restroom. He was refused that number, but another man, supposedly hadn't ordered anything and was white, was actually given the restroom code.
You guys had gave him the code, right? Isn't that what you did?
My business right now.
No, this is not your business. This is not your business.
Private business.
This is not your business, though. Okay, you may be the store manager, but you're not the. You're not in
You're actually
charge.
not allowed to be anymore. You need to.
I'm not. Is it my skin color? 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 I can use the bathroom, but Weston could.
Okay, social commentator Shagun Odolu joins in here now with more. Okay, thank you for coming in, because I want to talk to you about
Thank you for having me.
Here's a little more for that confrontation in California. It was back in January. I want you to watch this.
How you doing, bro?
Weston.
Weston, nice to meet you, sir. Did anyone told you that you look like someone familiar? No, you never got that.
Yeah.
Have you purchased anything in here, sir?
No, but I was just about to go.
You about to go purchase something?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, but before you made a purchase, they let you use a restroom, right?
I just typed in. I asked for the code.
You asked for the code, and they just gave it to you, right? Before you made a purchase.
Yeah.
Okay, so just to make it really obvious, black guy comes in, asks for the code. Sorry, pal. White guy comes in,
Gets the code.
same-sex answers.
Right.
Good to go.
I mean, does it get any blacker than coffee? Like, I mean, come on. Like, I say
Unless
that,
it's a latte.
Well, you know what? I don't like my swirl. But anyway, here's what bothers me. And Kevin Johnson, the CEO of Starbucks, has some splaining to do.
We'll get to him in a minute, but yeah.
I am not about to come on here and say that Starbucks is racist because I do not know the inner workings of their company. What I will say is the practice in Los Angeles and the practice in Philly are racially motivated.
Right.
To me, that's undeniable because those two men in Philadelphia specifically said, we're waiting for a friend. As they're being handcuffed and let out, their friend walks through the door. So where are the cops who were like, okay, well, this really isn't an arrestable offense? And the manager, what was the preceding factor in both Los Angeles and Philadelphia to treat the customers so poorly? I think it's this. I don't think it rubs off.
In Philadelphia, for instance, why did the white manager call the police? Why do white people call the police when they have some kind of issue to deal with black people?
You're a white guy. Okay. You're asking the black guy.
I don't know, because I wouldn't call
do
the police. But it's like it's illegal to call it a bomb threat. It's illegal to make a false report of a fire.
Okay.
This is a false report to police. These black guys were doing nothing
wrong.
Yet they're taken away. So why isn't the guy who called in a false report to the police, why isn't he charged or taken away or questioned at least?
I think you're asking a question that runs through black people's minds every day. What about us are you so afraid of? Why in Detroit was a kid shot at with a shotgun for ringing a doorbell? Why was Stephen Clark in Sacramento shot by cops 20 times? Like, why are
the 12-year-old kid who was a drunk guy called in and said there's a kid with a gun and gets shot dead?
Why are they? Why does it seem that it is open hunting season on black people and that fear is now a permissible excuse to absolutely suspend not only common sense, but the writ of law? Like, we're sitting here, we're not loitering, we're telling you we're going to order. I have to call it racism on these two, racially motivated on these 2 points, but not Starbucks as a entity.
Okay, I hope. But just, I was going to do this point for a little bit, because how terrifying is it for an African-American man to be told, we're calling the police are coming?
It's for me, and I'm going to be honest, I'm really trying hard not to break down and cry because I work with kids when I don't do this, and the idea that I could be driving in a car, like a cop gets behind me when I'm driving and I tense up. So for you to say you're calling the cops on me, I've lost. My word isn't going to be believed. It doesn't matter that I'm on television. It doesn't matter that I'm college educated. It doesn't matter that I'm married. I'm a good husband. I'm a good father. I'm a good coach. It doesn't matter any of these things. All that matters is that person who has a little bit of authority says that this skin tone is detrimental to them, and I am
I'm calling the cops.
And I'm done.
Yeah.
And I'm done. So the real question isn't what happens to us, but why do you think white people are so damn scared of me and people like me?
I don't get it. I never have. I honestly don't. And I that's my God's honest answer. I don't get it. I never have.
So what do we do?
Well, okay, so look.
You see what I mean?
Well, what do we do? I mean, look,
you're an educated guy. I'm an educated guy. We're sitting here talking to the world, and we don't have the answers. So here's what scares me.
Black people aren't scary. That's just, that's
the thing.
Like,
but here's
a lot of white people scary.
But there are a lot of scary white people.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, have you seen Duck Dynasty? I digress.
I try not to.
But here's where it gets really scary, John. We're smart. We're sitting here. We're talking. We're having this conversation. We're two educated people. What do you think that manager at Starbucks, what's their level of education?
Sure.
Talking to these two gentlemen who knows their level of education. The escalation that could happen so fast because of your prejudice and fear could turn Starbucks, and now you have people rioting and you have people, chanting outside Starbucks and calling it racism because you don't take the time just to use some common sense.
Exactly. Okay, so the CEO of Starbucks, he did what every PR-savvy CEO should do in a situation like this. He begged for forgiveness on Good Morning America. That's what he said.
The circumstances surrounding the incident and the outcome in our store on Thursday were reprehensible. They were wrong. And for that, I personally apologize to the two gentlemen that visited our store. Now, certainly, it's my responsibility to understand what happened and what led to that and ensure that we fix it. There are some scenarios where the police should be called. If there's threats or disturbance, those may be appropriate times. In this case, none of that occurred. It was completely inappropriate to engage the police.
Yep.
Yeah, so I like what he said, but it also feels like crocodile tears because what they didn't say is that manager that called the police, that manager hasn't been fired. That manager no longer manages that particular Starbucks.
They gave the impression that he had been.
No, they have moved that they have moved that manager to another location, but they cannot. They have not come
location?
out. Well, yes, it's in upstate Massachusetts. They have not outright said that person has been fired. And again, though what he said, I'm happy that he said it, and you don't really see CEOs saying that the action of the manager was reprehensible. What you normally get is, we'll investigate. Mistakes were made. There were good people on both sides.
Yes.
We've heard that before.
Maybe once or twice.
But unfortunately, if you are black in America, this is your reality, that you are walking a tightrope. It does suck.
Yeah,
it does suck. You're walking a tightrope between getting the police called on you when you're trying to buy a cup of coffee.
Yeah, so add that to the list. Can't sit in Starbucks.
Can't sit in Starbucks.
Don't sit in my car at the traffic light.
Yeah, can't sit in a traffic light. Can't reach for your cell phone because it could be a gun.
Everything. It's a long list.
Listen. You're preaching to the choir. We need you on the soapbox, John, because they're tired of hearing me say it. We need more people like you. Wakanda forever.
Yo,
there
I saw
it
that
is.
the other day. Finally.
Finally.
Yeah.
You were the last guy on planet Earth.
I'm always slow.